Markus Persson built the best-selling video game of all time. Then he sold it to Microsoft for $2.5 billion. Shortly after, he wrote that the problem with getting everything is you run out of reasons to keep trying. He had created a world that brought happiness to hundreds of millions of people, but it never brought any to him. To understand why, you have to go back to where it all began. In the quiet town of Edsbyn, Sweden, a boy named Markus Persson spent his earliest years surrounded by forests and snow. He was born on June 1st, 1979, to a Finnish-Swedish mother and a Swedish father. The family's small apartment was filled with the sounds of Scandinavian radio and the constant hum of curiosity. When Markus was just 7, his father brought home a Commodore 128, a beige box that would change everything. While other kids played outside, Markus sat cross-legged on the floor, typing lines of basic code copied from a magazine, not always sure what would happen when he pressed run. His first programs were simple: a bouncing ball, a crude version of Pong, a maze that reset every time he made a mistake. The computer did not care if he was shy or awkward. It responded to logic and patience. When his parents divorced in 1986, Markus, his mother, and his sister moved back to Stockholm. The city was bigger, louder, and lonelier. But the computer came with him. In those first months, it became more than a machine. It was a companion, a world to control when everything else felt uncertain. At school, Markus kept mostly to himself. He preferred the hum of the computer lab to the noise of the playground. Teachers noticed he stayed late, often skipping lunch to experiment with new commands. He joined a local demo group, the Juggles, learning how to push hardware to its limits and swap code with other kids on the early BBS networks. The Stockholm demo scene was a haven for young programmers, and Markus soaked up every trick he could find. He once said, "A single block can hold an entire universe if you have the courage to place it." By age 15, he had released his first shareware game, a top-down shooter called Worm, through a local BBS called Club 42. The downloads were modest, but the thrill of seeing strangers play his creation was unforgettable. Markus never forgot the feeling of making something out of nothing. Code became his language, and solitude became his fuel. The world outside could be unpredictable, but inside the glow of a monitor, he found order and possibility. On August 10th, 2009, Markus Persson made his first commit to a project he called Cave Game. The code was basic. The vision was ambitious, a landscape built from blocks stretching endlessly. Markus worked alone, coding late into the night, fixing bugs, adding features, and watching feedback pour in from early players on TIG Source. Each update was a new experiment, shaped by his instincts and the community's wild ideas. One night, a coding slip while designing a pig flipped the creature's body upright. Instead of deleting it, Markus kept the mistake. The result was the creeper, green, silent, and explosive. Its hiss and sudden detonation would become Minecraft's signature threat. Sometimes the best ideas are accidents, Markus reflected. The creeper's menace gave the game its first real sense of danger, and players loved it. Minecraft evolved at breakneck speed. Players wanted water that flowed, so Markus added it. Someone suggested sand should fall, so he introduced gravity to certain blocks. Every week brought a new surprise. Markus posted every change online, letting fans download the latest version and watch the world grow one block at a time. The game's shape shifted with each update, fueled by a direct line between creator and community. He didn't wait for a publisher or a marketing push. Instead, Markus put Minecraft up for sale on his own website. using a pay-what-you-want model. The first sale came in September 2009. By the time the alpha version launched, over 13,000 people had downloaded it in a single month. The numbers kept climbing. Within a year, Minecraft had sold more than 10 million copies, a staggering figure for a solo project built without a studio or a roadmap. A single block could hold a universe if you dared to place it. What began as a hobby in a Stockholm apartment had become a worldwide phenomenon, with Markus both architect and witness to the surge. On May 17, 2010, Mojang AB filed its incorporation papers in Stockholm, marking Minecraft's shift from a solo project to a formal studio. Markus Persson brought in Carl Manne to help manage the growing business, and soon a small team gathered in an open-plan office, each person drawn by the sense that something extraordinary was taking shape. Mojang's structure gave Minecraft stability, but the real force behind its rise was the community. Players didn't just want to play, they wanted to shape the game itself. When the Forge API launched in July 2011, it unlocked the code for anyone with Java skills. Modders created new creatures, mechanics, and entire worlds. Within a year, Forge saw over 1 million downloads, and the numbers kept climbing. Redstone tinkerers became legends, building working calculators, traps, and even basic computers inside the game. One fan wrote that redstone is the reason they learned logic gates before they learned to drive. Custom servers multiplied, each with its own rules, games, and economies. Bucket, another modding platform, let communities host adventure maps, mini-games, and role-play servers. By late 2011, tens of thousands of servers buzzed with activity, each a unique spin on Minecraft's core. Mojang's approach was unusual. Rather than shutting down fan projects, they encouraged them. Weekly snapshots kept modders in sync, and Mojang even hired community members like Jens Bergenstein, known as Jeb, to lead development. The line between official and unofficial blurred. Minecraft became a platform for creativity, not just a game. Minecon 2011 in Las Vegas brought the online community together in person. Over 4,500 fans filled the Mandalay Bay Convention Center, some traveling across continents to meet the creators and each other. The energy was electric, a testament to the reach of a game built on openness. By the end of 2011, Minecraft's value was in its sprawling, ever-evolving ecosystem, shaped by Mojang and its fans. September 15, 2014, Microsoft finalizes the purchase of Mojang for $2.5 billion. The deal is staggering in size: $1.5 billion in cash, $1 billion in Microsoft stock, and $500 million reserved for Mojang staff and future performance. Markus Persson, who once sold Minecraft on his own website for a few dollars, now holds a fortune beyond imagination. But the money comes with a cost he never expected. Almost overnight, Persson steps away from the company and the game he built. He posts online that he sold Minecraft for $2.5 billion and now feels a loss of purpose. He says he is not sure what to do with himself anymore. The words echo in interviews and headlines. He describes his days as a white noise of luxury, parties, travel, expensive hobbies. But the creative spark that once drove him is missing. The daily challenges, the endless feedback from players, the thrill of building something new are all gone. $1 billion bought freedom, but it also bought a mirror that showed who he had become. The public watches as Persson's presence online grows erratic. On Twitter, he posts about isolation and frustration. Some of his statements spark controversy, leading to sharp backlash and distance from the Minecraft community. By 2018, Microsoft quietly removes references to Persson from official Minecraft events and marketing. The company's message is clear: the game will continue, but its creator stands apart. Yet, the world Persson built refuses to fade. Minecraft spreads into classrooms, used as a teaching tool in over 140,000 schools across the US and more than 1.5 million worldwide. Students learn coding, teamwork, even history, one block at a time. The game's pixelated landscapes become a new kind of playground, a digital canvas for a generation. A single block can hold an entire universe if you have the courage to place it. The phrase, once tossed off in a forum post, now describes a legacy that outlasts its maker. Minecraft's influence stretches across continents and cultures, shaping how millions imagine, build, and connect. The man who created it finds himself on the outside, watching a phenomenon he can no longer control. Millions still log in each day, building worlds that outlast their creator's intent. Success, it turns out, is no guarantee of peace. In a culture obsessed with winning big, Persson's story asks, what's the real price of a dream fulfilled? Sometimes, it's everything you can't buy. Share your thoughts below.